Okay, so far, Mexico City just touched down, one of the most electric cities that I've seen so far. Man, yes, I've been trying the street food, but I want to know where else we got to go. Literally, when I take it as it comes, you got all the noise. Don't worry about that. We about to vibe out. Come ride with the boy. Mexico City is easily one of the most underrated cities in the entire world. People have been telling me, yo, you're sleeping on this city. And I don't know why it took me so long to visit. And so what you're gonna do is roll around with me and the entire crew through Mexico City. It's easily one of those places that I could come once a year. The culinary experiences, you've got sports, you've got amazing people, you've got these crazy museums. If you like to shop, activities galore. Literally everything that you want in a big city, they have it within Mexico City. And I told you, the culture is almost like second to none. So with all that said, there's only one thing that I was worried about when coming to Mexico City, and that was safety. I've heard just so many things, right? Narcos, all these different things. And so I was a little apprehensive before coming. That was literally my only worry. And then when I got here, I was like, man, this is a really well-organized city. I felt completely safe the entire time I was there. And I would say, just like any city though, be aware of your surroundings, because if you do wander off into the wrong place, you might have some issues. But the thing is like if you're in New York, you know the kind of places to go, and it's the same thing in Mexico City. And what makes this video so special, and why was I even in Mexico City in the first place? We had our first ever brand deal, and that was with Airbnb. So Airbnb launched this new amazing cooking experience. And so we went down to Mexico City to film that. And I want you just to understand this. I've done hundreds of Airbnb experiences before they even reached out. I've stayed in hundreds of homes before they reached out. And so this is like something that's still authentic to me. I'm gonna be talking about Airbnb experiences quite a bit in this video, but this is what I do literally when I go to every city. So for me, as long as it's authentic, I'm gonna share it with y'all along the way. One of the most important things when you're visiting any city is like where you gonna stay. And so for me, you know I like fly spots. And so I stayed in this amazing neighborhood of Juarez. And we had a 4-bedroom Airbnb. It's more like a 3-bedroom Airbnb with a maid's quarters in a beautiful neighborhood. So much happening. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Brooklyn. And you have just restaurants everywhere. You've got just the energy of the city, everything that you want. And then this place, you might be wondering how much it costs. Literally $95 a night. And I was like, yo, that works for my bank account. And the way my bank account's set up, it's check. The card is going through when we do this. And it's not an official passport heavy video until your boy get his hair cut, right? You know the boy gotta stay fresh. And so when we were walking around in the neighborhood about 3 minutes away from the crib, I saw this place called the Barber Spa, and I was like, ooh, this place looks like my kind of spot. And then so I roll in, talk to this cool dude, Eduardo, who's my barber. Start talking to him in Spanish. My Spanish is not that bad. And then just the energy is more of an experience place. They call it the Barber Spa for a reason. I mean, you've got the drinks, you've got people literally giving you massages, on your hands, on your shoulders. You just feel so relaxed. I'm like, yo, this is how you get your haircut. So if you go see him, tell him your boy Passport Heavy sent you. I'm sure he'll hook you up with, a drink or two. So I stayed in Mexico literally for like 3 weeks. I was supposed to stay for 1, ended up staying for 3. You know how the boy rolls. And so the last 2 weeks, we stayed in this area called Polanco. So if you can basically picture like Beverly Hills of Mexico City, like this place just like, it reeks of luxury. Like you just walk around, smells like money out there. And so you have like the most ridiculous stores, anything that you want. You've got the nice cars driving around, people walking around, oh my God, just that kind of vibe. But then let's talk about the apartment. So I had this apartment in a high-rise building. It was phenomenal. Like real 4 bedrooms. I think we're on like the 30th floor, just a crazy view over Mexico City. And the place has like, doorman, gym, a real hot tub, sauna, every type of amenity that you can imagine. And then for this Airbnb, I was paying $200 a night. No hype. When I talk about there's no shortage of activities to do in Mexico City, I am not hyping it. So one of my dreams is always to drive a Ferrari. I've been in love with them since I've been a little kid, but I think so many of us, because it's not within our reach or we don't think it's possible, it's like, I don't care about that stuff. But deep down, we all know, we want to ride a Ferrari. And one of the craziest things I learned is the number one, women do this more than actually men in Mexico City, but they had this experience on Airbnb where you can literally have a Ferrari and drive around the city. And yeah, I let loose. I felt like a little kid. Like, I'm not too cool to admit, like, I literally felt like a little kid driving around Mexico City. I felt like a superstar. People were like, oh my God, hey, how you doing? I was like, yeah, it's running, bro. I gotta give it back in 15 minutes. But while I was in it felt amazing. And so highly recommend it. And like the owners are super cool, super approachable. Just don't scratch their Ferrari and they'll remain cool. One of the things I really loved about Mexico is the culture. Like they are so true to their culture, and it was just such a beautiful thing to experience. Because in America, we only get like a little bit of their culture, right? And then so being in Mexico City with Mexicans, super friendly. But one thing I do when I travel pretty much to any country, I reach out to people on social media. I'm like, hey, I'm coming to your city. I would love for people to show me around. And so while I was in Mexico City, this guy named Bo, he's actually from Illinois. He moved to Mexico City, and so he's a big black guy, just like myself. And this guy speaks fluent Spanish, and he actually ended up on the biggest TV show in Mexico. He's like, yo, bro, I'd love to show you around. And when you say like celebrity, I mean celebrity. I couldn't walk more than 2 minutes without someone coming up like, oh my God, selfie, selfie, selfie. And then everyone just loves him. But what I did is I met him at one of his favorite taco spots, and he explained to us a little bit about the food.
So if you go to Mexico, you have to get a taco de pastor. It's like, the hamburger, the Big Mac, the pizza of Mexico. So, but you need to have your lemons, okay? Your lime, we call it limons aquí. And then you have to have your little like guacamole salsa, okay? You get that, put a little salt in it, and it's perfecto, okay?
That's good.
That's good, I tell you. Every person I take here, they always say this is the best gringa they ever tasted in Mexico, here in Calico.
And then so after the food, we just went walking around, just exploring. It's one of my favorite things actually to do in Mexico. It's a very walkable city. And then you're just seeing some of the most beautiful museums and just like architecture that I've ever seen in my life. And then, so after walking around, Bo was like, yo, I got my homie coming to pick us up. I was like, huh? Yeah, man. Like, he pulls up in the limo, like, big, I think it was like an Escalade limo. And I was like, this how we gonna roll around the city? He's like, yeah. So then we're in the limo, just having a good time, exploring the whole city. And then we're just making a few stops to go see different, monuments around the city. And it was just such an amazing feeling. Like everyone is just so friendly. Even rolled up on this one kid, we're pulling up and he just jumped out the car and started dancing.
Oh, get it. Hey.
So one thing I have not talked about yet enough is the food. The food is incredible in Mexico City. And like I said, the cost of living here is really good. It's one of those places that I can easily post up for 6 months. They've got good internet service, friendly people, great transportation, all the things that I look for when I'm being a digital nomad and spending time in cities. And street food is a big thing in Mexico City. When I say big, I mean huge, massive, right? And there's one spot that we go by, I think it was like 30 pesos for like 5 tacos. That's about $1.50 or so, $1.40, $1.50 if my conversions are right, for 5 tacos. And then so like literally for $3, and we did this a few nights, we spent like literally $3 on dinner. Like that's it, and that's the kind of vibe, and people love their street food. Like you can't go to Mexico and not really walk around and try their street food. It's some of the best street food I've ever had in my entire life. So now while I'm talking about food, right? Like I said, the reason we're down in Mexico in the first place was because of Airbnb cooking experiences. And so I met this amazing woman named Claudia and her entire beautiful family. And what was unique about this is it's not, it's like indigenous tradition to Mexico, because there's so many, Mexico's huge, they have so many different cultures. Just like in America we have a lot of cultures, even in Mexico they have a lot of different cultures. And then so when we went to her house, we just felt so welcome. You know, she has like this blessing, welcoming thing that she does. And then we just got to meet her family. Shout out to her son Sebastian, Sarah, grandma. It was just such a beautiful experience. And then the thing I love about the Airbnb experiences is that you get to have experiences that you can't normally cultivate on your own. Literally invited us into her home to cook a meal, learn about her history, her culture, and how to make these foods. And I was like, wow, this is one of the greatest things. I would love to do this with like my friends, you know, coming into town, or you know, family. Like if I had a family and kids, I'm like, hey, yo, kids, this is how you learn about culture. Versus in a book, this is just a beautiful way to learn. We just really connected. And so I was like, hey, my friends from the NBA were in town, and they invited me to go to the game. Claudia's like, I really vibe with your spirit. Absolutely. So Sebastian and Sarah, you know, came to an NBA game. We went to the Dallas Mavericks game versus the Detroit Pistons. And shout out to you know, the Pistons. You know, Chi-Town, Derrick Rose, Pooh, we see you. And it was just a beautiful experience, you know, to take them to the game and then for them to see something like this. And they're like, whoa, this is the coolest thing. And I think I got more joy out of seeing them happy than anything. And literally, we still keep in touch to this day. Like literally, like this is, like they, like this is just yesterday.
Hola Yubri, ¿cómo estás? Espero que estés bien y muchos abrazos y besos. Te amamos. Bye.
But like I said, yeah, the cooking experience, you'll see the link down below. I highly recommend it. And then they also have online experiences that you can do. Activities galore in Mexico City. I'm sure you've heard of Nacho Libre, like the Mexican wrestling. This is a big part of their culture, and it's one of the most fun things I've ever done. Anthony, one of our filmmakers, probably had too much fun. He was like a big ass kid. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna see this. I was like, yo, calm your ass down, bro. So, but like, and before that, what we did is we went and made masks. We literally made masks, painted, and then shout out to my homie Rashid and his little boy. So he came along on the experience. And it was just fun learning about the culture and how it all started. But we weren't allowed to film inside of the arena because we didn't have like filming rights. But it was like, I can't recommend it enough. Just a really amazing thing. And like if you want to get really in the Mexican culture, it's something I highly recommend. And then so you might be wondering about transportation. Uber all day. Uber's super cheap there. It's probably like 1/3 of the price that it is here in the United States. And you can do anything from the regular Ubers to like Uber Black. And they got the freshest ass cars out there as well. If you want the boy to enjoy, you just need to give me a few things. Sunshine, beautiful people, a boat, drinks, and good energy. With that, I'm not asking for too much. And one of my favorite experiences that I did is they have these beautiful, colorful boats that have been a part of tradition for such a long time. And they literally have just a punter that propels you through the water and you go through the river or canal, whatever you want to call it. And then you literally have drinks on here. You have people from all different cultures in the beginning. Everyone's kind of timid. And then as the drinks start flowing, you just like, you've got happy people with dancing. You have all the stops along, and it's just beautiful as well. We literally hired, I don't know if you call it a mariachi band. The guys came on the boat, literally it's like $20 or something. And just it added to the environment and the energy so much. And then you learned like all about the history. I won't spoil too much of it, but I'm telling you, it was one of, like, if people ask me, if there's a top 5 things to do in Mexico City, this is easily within my top 5 things to do. And then, I'm gonna talk about food again. And so churros, right, are such a big thing. People love sugar. If you wanna get out of shape and, get a belly, eat a bunch of these things. Your man is officially a chef now. Just made churros, probably enough for the whole city of Mexico. enough sugar as well for the whole city of Mexico. But it's an amazing experience because I got to learn really the process, because when I'm in the store, I'm going to buy them, you really don't know how they're made. And it's interesting to learn, how something's made from scratch and the history. And one of the most interesting things is, you know where these things originated? Probably not. But it's China. You learn something new today. There's few things in my life that I get up at 4 a.m. for, but to witness something like this, I would do it time and time again. What am I talking about? Hot air ballooning in Mexico. When you talk about an experience that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life, this was one of those moments. Make sure you get there on time, or you're gonna miss the sunrise, right? And then shout out to the company that we went with. This wasn't an Airbnb experience, it's this cool English dude. And they were like rated one of the best companies there. So out here in Mexico, just had one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Literally flew over pyramids. So how long you been here in Mexico?
Oh, a good while. Good, like 26 of those years.
So 26 years. And then how long ago did you start this company?
And we've had this company pretty much since I got here.
Wow.
And I've been doing it before that as well.
So 40 years flying hot air balloons, and then here this amazing pilot.
Amazing pilot.
Right? I've flown a few times before, but this man literally landed in a trailer. I'm like, basically, what the fuck? Who lands in a trailer? Local. And so, we did the hot air balloon, amazing experience. And then close to, and when you're up there, right, you've got you're like flying over the pyramids and just this epic landscape. And then so after that, I was like, yo, we actually need to go see the pyramids. And because we had a driver, then we're able, after the hot air balloons, to spend time there around the pyramids. And it's just like, you can feel the history and like the pride of the people around there. And then you do have like these dudes always trying to sell you stuff, but they cool. And I was like, oh, prices weren't actually that bad. And I bought a few things and support the local economy. And then we just kind of toured around and enjoyed the day out there. One of my favorite things to do in Mexico City is just literally walk around. I've said it's a walkable city a couple times. And one of the cool things we did is a walking tour. We did this amazing walking tour, and we learned more about the street food. And even literally, one of the things that I learned is they have a government regulated price on tortillas. People can't jack the prices up because it's so much a part of the culture. And I was like, I love it. I fucking love it. Literally regulating the prices of tortillas, fam. So Mexico City has so many different options when it comes to food. Now, this was one of the best fine dining experiences, actually the best fine dining experience that we had the complete time that we were in Mexico City. And one of the coolest things is that the chef was around while we were there, and he came over. One of the cool questions is I just asked him about the different neighborhoods and what they meant to him. What would you say are the 4 best neighborhoods for like tourists or someone that has a little bit of money coming to visit?
Yeah, first one could be Roma. It's just across the street, literally. So much stuff, so much galleries, so much. It's not super expensive, but you have a really nice time, and the neighborhood has a lot of really nice details, like a bunch of old buildings and really classic restaurants. The second one would be Polanco. Yeah. It's more of a really expensive neighborhood, but it's worth it. It's always this contrast, and it's worth seeing. It's all about the luxury. Yeah. The third one would be Condesa, just because it was part of the upbringing of Mexican restaurants and etc. So I think that there's a bunch of really nice things to do there. And the fourth one would be Juarez, definitely. I'm in love with my neighborhood. We are actually catching up. This neighborhood was left alone for a long time, and right now it's picking up again with really good new restaurants, new boutiques, new galleries.
So one quick little hack for you is if you find a driver that you like and you want to do long distances, negotiate with them, especially so for us when we went to go do the hot air balloon, and then we went to go see the pyramids. We literally cut the price in half, and our driver was the coolest. If you want his info, it's right here, and then also I'll link it in the description. So when you think of Mexico, you're obviously thinking about tequila, and then also mezcal. And so Airbnb, they really get you inside the culture when you come to Mexico. And then also learning the distinctions between mezcal and tequila and then all the different grades.
Whew, smells like cactus.
And so it's just one of those enjoyable things if you appreciate the detail for things and really knowing the meaning and the history. I think it's one of the coolest things that you can do in Mexico City. And also get to try some really good drinks with a cool group of people. So I never heard a woman say, I'm so glad my man can't salsa dance. And so when you come to Mexico, it's easily one of the best things that you can do. And Airbnb had this amazing experience with amazing salsa instructors. And then Anthony was so excited because he felt like he had 2 left feet. And the instructor just made him feel so comfortable. At the end of it, he was just like, I can't wait to do this again and experience this all around the world. So, in closing, Mexico City is definitely going to see me again. I had an absolute amazing time. The people, like I said, were so friendly and so cultured. I love it when people are so proud of their culture. It just means so much to me, and to see them in their native lands, it was just a beautiful thing to experience. And then shout out to, my entire team. Mike, produced this episode. Big shout out to him. Nathan Wild, just an amazing filmmaker, beautiful work. So a lot of the shots that you're gonna see are from him. And then a big shout out to Anthony, Mr. Two Scoops. He shot this entire video as well, but he's also edited this entire video, and he is literally one of the best filmmakers in the world. I love him to death. And he recently just launched a filmmaking. So one of the things about filmmaking, right, is a lot of people go to school. So right now I'm actually filming this video in California. I'm in Malibu currently. Maybe I'll show you a view of what I'm looking at here on the other side. But like USC Film School, like to go there is literally $77,000 for board, room, and tuition for 1 year, fam. 1 year. And a lot of people that come out of there after 4 years, they go on set and like they're getting coffee for like a few years, working their way up. And like there's this new thing of online space and creating, people wanna know, how do you shoot a passport heavy video, right? Or how do you get into this? Or how do you shoot, clients and have 5-figure jobs? Anthony has actually literally dropped his film school, and I'm giving a big plug because I love this guy and he knows what he's talking about. And so I'll put a link below. He literally has a film school, and the value is incredible. It's about $500, to join his film school. But he also has like a free class if you want to do and just check out his work. I think there's also put a link to his free class. You know the quality of his work. I mean, you see it here if you've been watching Passport Heavy or following. I just salute him. And then shout out to Isaiah McNeil, our composing genius, for scoring this. We always have original scores, and so I appreciate you, Isaiah. And shout out to Airbnb. Like I said, like they didn't pay me for this video, but thank you for being a brand that like I really mess with, and I appreciate you, and I proudly talk about you, and I've been talking about you for free for years. And so I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity not to shoot. And go check out the video that we did with them on the channel. I've re-recorded this video. And right now we're going through this thing, R.I.P. George Floyd. Literally recording this through one of the heaviest times in our nation. And it's a time to come together, but it's like a time where people actually need to see what has actually happened. Like I haven't even talked about a lot of the racist experiences that I've had in my life happen to me. Even like some things that have happened while traveling, but most of them have actually happened in the United States, right? And so I just wanted to take a moment to kind of, reflect on that. And I want to end on a high note. And one of the beautiful things is I went marching yesterday here in LA, and it was crazy to see so many different races coming together for justice. And it was like all different races came together because they saw injustice. And it was just a beautiful moment because normally, you know, it's just black people out here fighting for what we know has been wrong for so long. And now the fact that other people are actually standing up and marching alongside with us, it was just a beautiful thing. And so I was like, man, I had to, you know, come and re-record this video because we didn't release it. I don't want to make this a longer video than it is, but I appreciate you and take care.